Soil resources. Soil is one of the world's most important natural resources. It is the uppermost layer of the earth, together with air and water. It is the basis for life on planet Earth. It has many important functions which are essentials for life, provides most needed for plant growth, and also helps purify water. Soil composition. It originates from parent rock and contains both organic and inorganic substances. Plants obtain inorganic elements from the soil, which serves as natural medium and plants. Soil is the outer loose layer that covers the surface of Earth. Soil quality, a major determinant along with climate of plants, distribution, and growth. It depends not only on the chemical composition of the soil, but also the topography and the presence of living organisms. Soil consists of these major components. Inorganic mineral, about 40 to 45% of the soil volume. Organic matter, about 5% of the soil volume. Water is about 25% of the soil volume. And air is about 25% of the soil volume. The amount of each of the four major components of soil depends on the quantity of vegetation, soil compaction, and water present in the soil. A good, healthy soil has sufficient air, water, minerals, and organic material to promote and sustain plants' life. Soil formation. Soil should ideally contain 50% solid material and 50% pore space. The organic component of soil serves as a cementing agent, returns nutrients to the plant. It allows also the soil to store moisture, makes soil suitable for farming, and provides energy for soil microorganisms. Most soil microorganisms are bacteria, algae, and fungi, are dormant in dry soil, but become active once moisture is available.
Soil resources allocation, usual problems or issues. There are different threats to soil resources, and this includes the following. First is the soil nutrient imbalance. It occurs when inputs of nutrients, which is through the addition of chemical and organic fertilizers or other sources, are either is insufficient to allow crops to achieve their development and yields, in excess nutrients exported during the harvest of the crops. Another is soil biodiversity loss. It is a decline in the diversity of micro and macroorganisms present in soil. Third is the soil acidification. It is the lowering of soil pH due to the buildup of hydrogen and aluminum ions in the soil, and the associated loss of base cations such as calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium from the soil due to leaching or product removal. Next is soil compaction. It is the increase in density and decline of macroporosity in a soil that results from pressure being applied at the soil surface. Next is soil waterlogging. It is when soil is too wet that there is insufficient oxygen in the pore space for plant roots to be able to adequately respire. Other gases detrimental to root growth such as carbon dioxide and ethylene. Another is soil erosion. It is the removal from the land surface by water, wind, or tillage. Water erosion occurs mainly when overland flow transports soil particles detached by drop, impact, or runoff, often leading to clearly defined channels such as rills. Next is soil salinization. It is the accumulation of salts in the soil. The accumulated salts include sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, chloride, sulfate, carbonate, and bicarbonate. 8 is the soil sealing. It is the permanent covering of an area of land and its soil by impermeable artificial material. Next is soil organic carbon loss. It is the loss of organic carbon stored in the soil. It occurs primarily due to the conversion of soil carbon to carbon dioxide or methane, both of which are greenhouse gases, and to the physical loss of carbon from the soil by erosion. Lastly is the soil contamination. It is the addition of chemicals or materials to soil that have a significant adverse effect on any organisms or on soil functions.
Proper natural resource allocation and management. By definition, soil conservation is the prevention of soil loss from erosion or reduced fertility caused by overusage, acidification, salinization, or other chemical soil contamination. Involves farming and agricultural management practices that are carried out with the objective of controlling soil erosion through limiting or preventing detachment of soil particles and transport in air and water. Here are some soil conservation practices that are employed. First, conservation till farming. Tillage is the agricultural preparation of the soil by mechanical agitation of various types such as digging, steering, and overturning. Conservation tillage leaves the soil surface bare and loosen soil particles, making them susceptible to the erosive forces of winds and water. Contour farming. On gentle slope horizontal rows of plants help down runoff. Contour farming reduces soil erosion by as much as 50% from up and downhill farming. By reducing sediment and runoff and increasing water infiltration, contouring promotes better water quality. Terracing. Down a steep slope extremely efficient to prevent runoff and good in high rainfall areas. Terrace farming boosts water conservation and runoff reduction. Terraces act as mini micro watershed across the whole slope, increases soil roughness and create voids so that water droplets penetrate, thus increases water holding capacity and soil moisture. Stripping cropping. Alternate strip of crop with grasses or grass legume mixture. Runoff is retained by strip cover, also help nitrogen fixing. Strip cropping has the purpose of preventing soil erosion. This is achieved when water flowing down the contour slows down its speed due to the blocking strip of crop. Alley cropping. Down a steep slope extremely efficient to prevent runoff and good in high rainfall areas. Alley cropping considered a sustainable farming practice because it allows farmers to meet current needs while preserving resources. Policy basis. Sustainable soil management criteria and supporting practices. Policymakers also require an appreciation of how soil and land management practices can be applied to achieve desired outcomes, regardless of the level of mechanization and technological sophistication. Farming practices in general need to minimize soil disturbance by avoiding mechanical tillage in order to maintain soil organic matter, soil structure, and overall soil function. Enhance and maintain a protective organic cover on the soil surface, using cover crops and crop residues in order to protect the soil surface. Conserve water and nutrients and promote cell biological activity. Cultivate a wide range of plant species, both annuals and perennials. In association, sequences and rotation that include tree, shrub, pasture crops in order to enhance crop nutrition and improve system resilience. Useful adapted varieties with resistance to biotic and abiotic stresses and with improved nutritional quality and to plant them at an appropriate time seedling age and spacing. Enhance crop nutrition and soil function through crop rotation and judicious use of organic and inorganic fertilizer. Ensure integrated management of pests, diseases, and weeds using appropriate practices, biodiversity, and selective low-risk pesticide when needed. Manage water efficiently. Control machine and field traffic to avoid soil compaction.
Implication: soil is the support of primary production in terrestrial ecosystems. Therefore, agricultural production of food and fiber for the human populations is strongly dependent on soil resources. Therefore, soil contributes to the regulations of the carbon cycle and its consequent effects on climate change. At the ecological and human timescales, Soil resources are non-renewable. Therefore, soil conservation is a critical factor to ensure increasing of food demands, and soils can be carbon source and link. Thank you.